Hi everyone, welcome back to Mostra Monday. I'm Jillian Malone, co-founder of Mostra Coffee, and today I have the pleasure of sitting down and chatting with singer-songwriter and actor AJ Rafael. Welcome to Mostra.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. Such a beautiful spot.
Thank you. It has been so cool to have you in San Diego.
Oh my gosh, I feel very welcomed, honestly. I mean, I'm wearing, this is a barbershop in National City.
Oh.
You know, neighborhood barbershop. Been having Mostra this whole time.
Yes, he has.
So it's supporting the Filipino businesses, community.
Thank you.
And it's been awesome to be here.
Well, let me tell you. So AJ, you and I have had it's been this kind of serendipitous experience. So
yeah.
Okay, so Mostra was a part of this event called Filipino Forces. We served served coffee at the dinner for Filipino Forces.
Yep.
There was this after party, we're serving coffee, and then AJ's there and he has Mostra.
Yeah.
That was contact one, okay?
Yes.
And I don't even remember what day that was, but
It was like a random Wednesday.
it was a random Wednesday, exactly.
Yeah.
Then maybe 48 hours later, right? Was it the same week, right?
Yep.
Okay, the same week, AJ, and we had been reposting his Mostra stuff and all that, and the next thing you know, AJ's in San Diego, and then you go to Mostra a couple days later, because he's in town promoting a show, which we'll get into in a minute. So then he has Mostra a couple days later, and then I end up ringing the bell at the San Diego Padres game the same day that you're singing the national anthem.
That's right.
And so then AJ and I run into each other again, I think within a week.
Yep, within a week.
Again, and on at home plate at Petco Park. And I'm like, hey, do you remember me? Filipino Forces, Mostra.
Yeah.
And we're like, yeah. You know, and then we've just been talking ever since.
Yeah.
Then you've been coming to Mostra with your beautiful wife.
Yes.
And just supporting our brand, which we appreciate.
And y'all came to support opening night, which was so meaningful as well. So
Of course.
I just love this circle of us supporting each other and truly enjoying. We enjoyed the vibes and the coffee at Mostra, and then y'all came to the show and enjoyed that. So it's great.
Dude, it's a win-win, and it's collaboration and partnership. It's all love here.
Absolutely. None of it has felt like, hey, do you want to do this in exchange of which is usually how that's kind of the fastest way I feel like collaboration can happen is if hey, can you come visit my spot and then we'll do this for you or whatever. But again, like you said, it all felt kind of serendipitous and we just ended up seeing each other within this week. And then, so I'm really glad to have connected with you.
It's been so cool. And my sister, Gabby, runs the Hillcrest location, and she has been the biggest fan of yours and Alyssa. I feel especially during the pandemic.
Yeah.
I don't know, she shared so many of your videos with me over that time. And so for her, seeing you at Filipino Forces was a big deal. And then it was she's like, he's at my store now. And I was like, what? AJ's at your store? You know? And now you guys just come through. And she was the one that I decided to bring to your show because I'm she's going to enjoy it the most.
Amazing.
After me, of course.
Right.
So Mostra means show and performance in Italian. So I have a performance background, grew up dancing, acting, doing music too.
Yeah.
And then my best friend Bev is an opera singer. And so when we were coming up with the name Mostra, we wanted something that sounded kind of ambiguous and universal, but represented who we are and performers.
That's beautiful.
And how we like to perform at the highest level. You know, and then it ended up translating to coffee because people drink coffee to perform and to fuel themselves, to perform at their highest level.
Right.
In whatever profession. So, so
that's
anyway.
Really cool.
Yeah, so when you were come to my show and, fuel my crew and my cast.
Yeah.
I felt like I was having a true full circle moment personally. Because my tita Missy, my mom's sister, was in Miss Saigon, the first national tour.
Oh, great!
She played the understudy of Kim.
Awesome.
One of my sisters, Ariel, played Tam in the show.
Awesome.
So
wow.
I was around musical theater my whole life, and so I just have a special place for it. So when you invited me to the show, I was I get to see a musical today. It was everything.
And powered by Mostra. I remember walking out of that performance with the Mostra cup in my hand.
You did!
And I didn't even mean to do that. It was just there and it hadn't been drank because I was doing so many things.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I was like, I need this to get through the rest of the night. And I brought it out. First thing, the doors open, and I have it. Like,
Oh, and you bet I noticed. And you bet, like, you put it down next to Alyssa, and I grabbed it. I actually have a video on my phone. I grabbed it, and I was like, he's still drinking his Mostra. Okay.
Yeah, I love that.
You know, like, it was a whole moment. I typically like to go to a musical when I know the music first.
Yeah.
Because I'm just, like,
Makes sense.
emotionally attached.
Yeah.
And then I have a hard time with lyrics, personally, so it helps me understand the story better.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. With that said, I walked into Tick, Tick, Boom not knowing anything. Like,
That's
I'd never
amazing.
seen the movie.
Yeah.
I knew, you know, obviously Jonathan Larson, Rent, and all that. So I was excited, but everybody listened to me. Like, he did not leave the stage one time in the 90 minutes. There's no intermission. I could not believe it. And honestly, like, you blew me away with your ability to sing, act, and play the piano and do the choreography. And like, I watched you because I'm a performer, and I know that there's moments where like, okay, you're like, okay, the audience isn't watching me right now.
Right.
I can take a beat
Yeah.
to take a breath or grab a drink of water or something. I was watching you in the in-between moments, and I was like, oh dang, like, he's really not taking a break, like, because you can't.
I know. There is one moment I get to sneak water, and throughout
And
the
I remember
run,
it.
Yes. Throughout the run, I've been finding 2 more spots where I possibly could if I was desperate.
Okay.
But yeah, the pace of that show and how the costume changes are on stage for me and all that
Insane.
stuff, it doesn't allow me to leave the stage.
I honestly, like, you should be, and I hope you feel, and you've processed, like, how incredible you're doing in this show. Like,
Thank you.
How did this come about in the first place?
Yeah, I mean, so I've been going out for musical theater for the last even 10 years or so, just on and off, and not as like my main thing, because my main thing is doing singer-songwriting and going on tour and writing songs and stuff. Recently, I haven't done a musical. The last musical I did was in 2022. I did Grease. And I played Johnny Casino, which is like, I have one song, I have a scene, and then I could go back to the back. I joined the group numbers. Like, it was
Back to the ensemble.
relatively easy, you know? But it was an amazing show. I met so many amazing people. So I haven't done theater in a while. And my friend Lucky Alan Weaver, who is a Filipino and has done stuff at East West Players, which is the nation's longest running Asian American theater, downtown LA. And we had done stuff there before. We did Mamma Mia together. He called me and he said, hey, would you like to submit for John Larson in Tick, Tick, Boom in San Diego? And I was like, me, John?
Right.
You know, I was thinking he might have called me for Michael, the other
Right.
part, which is
The
usually
ethnic-
which is usually played by the by POC. So I was like, sure. He said, can you send in a tape? And I was so busy with things, also with my manager. We were preparing for tour. I was actually afraid to bring it to my manager because, just to be like frank, the pay is not great. And there's a lot of work that goes into, you know, a play like this being the lead role, and also it being...
It takes you away.
It takes me away.
Yeah.
Essentially, 120 miles away from my house.
Yeah.
You know, from LA. So I actually originally didn't tell my manager. I sent in the tape before telling him.
No way. Okay.
And also the tape was very, I didn't clear anything in the back. I just like played piano and sang
Like in your house?
in my house.
Okay.
Like I didn't do it on my usual white background, just played the piano. And then I remember doing the monologue. And again, secret, I didn't memorize it. I had the paper right there because I honestly didn't think that I was gonna get this part. Because usually it is played by a white guy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean, Jonathan Larson was a white Jewish guy. So all of the qualities of this character I knew I had, except for the white part. So again, I just kind of turned in the tapes and let it happen.
Which is always how it happens, by the way, when you're like, I don't
Yeah,
care,
I
I'm
know.
not attached.
Yes.
I'm not going to get this. And then you get
Literally,
the call. I know. That's the
one
way it
take
works.
of the piano song, maybe 2 takes of the monologue. And then I got a Zoom call 2 weeks later. And I remember them just saying, hey, we want to get to know you, the director and the music director. And again, the casting director, Lucky, a Filipino guy. So it's really your own people who are talking good stuff behind your back, who will help you get opportunities.
I love that.
Was like a real tangible moment for me to see support from somebody from inside.
In his position.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful thing. So I met the director and music director, who are both white women. So, and I'm just saying that because...
No, it's relevant in this casting process.
In the casting process.
Yeah.
And what we would think that they see as quote-unquote normal,
yeah,
or what typical casting is.
Right.
I didn't know this until recently, but during the Zoom meeting, after meeting me and me telling them my story and how I relate to John Larson and how passionate I was about it, they were typing in the chat saying, "This is our guy. Offer him right now." I have the chills
over that.
Yeah.
I love it.
Again, I didn't know that was happening, and I remember Katie, the director, she said, "We'd like to offer you the part." And I was like...
On the Zoom call?
On the Zoom call.
Oh, shoot. You were like, this is like my callback, except
yeah, I thought it was a callback, really.
Yeah.
And they didn't know it either, so... I was really grateful. I mean, that's how it came about.
Okay.
And that was in February.
Okay.
The same day, my wife booked a lead role in Beauty and the Beast. She booked Belle. The same day, 4 hours later.
Oh my gosh, you guys.
It was wild.
Like the major manifesting powers are all happening at the Rafael house.
Yeah, we did vision boards. We do vision boards every year.
Okay.
And on New Year's, and we put down... all the things that we want to do, and a lot of it was theater for us this year.
Really?
Yeah,
oh
which
my
is
gosh.
wild.
Oh my god, I love it.
So the fact that it happened on the same day, her play came first, so she did musical for a month and a half, and then mine came literally 2 days after she closed. I started rehearsals in San Diego, so here I am.
So it's a long show. So can you just kind of break down for me the process of learning all of that, especially since you don't get a break at all? Because I remember in middle school when I did a musical, it was like, because it was a million years ago, but we would learn song after song, and then they would like somehow piece it together. But
yeah,
please tell me this process of learning an entire musical as the lead.
I got the script early, 60 pages. So, and that's with text from songs just being out there. So I just knew it was a lot of words.
Did you know the songs already?
I had listened to the soundtrack a bunch when I got cast in February. Okay. But I knew 2 of the songs, mainly because they're kind of like musical theater, some audition songs, and like songs that some people learn in class. I used to accompany piano for musical theater classes and stuff, so I was familiar. I loved the movie. I remember when my mom watched the movie, she said, "AJ, this musical, Jonathan Larson, reminds me of your dad, and I think you should really watch it."
Oh, wow.
And I watched it, and I had some friends in the movie too, which is amazing. But anyway, I got the script. I knew it was a bunch of material. Again, this is like in March, April. It also came at a time when my mom was sick in the hospital. So I remember being anxious about it, but then having to be like, I can't even look at this. My attention has to be here.
With family.
With family. My mom got better in mid-April, and I still was visiting her every day out in Lake Forest. I lived in Glendale. Not every day, but as much as I could. And I remember just in the back of my head, like, you have to get ahead of learning this, because you don't want to show up first day of rehearsal and you don't know anything. Like, I didn't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
I wanted to set the example almost, because
I mean, you're leading this thing.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's also a lot of material.
Yeah.
And I had never done this amount of material before. I remember playing the lead in my college musical Footloose. And
that's fun.
It's like a silly musical.
Yeah.
You're dancing and you're like, dancing is against the law. And like all these scenes and funny things. But this one is rather heavy, as you saw. It's also a lot of fun. So anyway, the process was I wanted to memorize at least half of it before getting into rehearsals.
Okay.
But again, my mom, tour being on, coming up, all these other things, I could not possibly be truly present with this script until I got to rehearsals. And I did try every day to look at it, and my head was just not in it. I was worried about also spending quality time with my wife and my dogs before I left, because I knew I would be gone for a long time. Watching out for the house, which we just bought a year and a half ago. So it's like all of these things.
Yeah.
But I still read the script a couple of times before I got into rehearsal. And when I got to rehearsal, we got to do a full read-through of the play together for the first time. Me and the two other characters, Emma and Leo, who are amazing actors. And I remember saying, okay, well, since we're doing this for first day rehearsal, I'm gonna memorize these first two pages for the next day. And I kept doing that until I memorized everything.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, so I was like a day
behind.
Yes.
Yes.
Of when we knew we were gonna do a certain scene.
So you would just get through the day.
I'd get through the day
and be like, okay,
what are we doing next?
Chip away at the next bit.
Chip away at the next bit. And there's probably like 10 to 12 big monologues that last like a page and a half.
Dude.
Maybe.
This is literally why I'm asking you. There's so much.
Yeah.
It's one thing, like, you know, Miss Saigon, like, they sing the whole time.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but if, like, there's music, I can do this. I can sing Miss Saigon from start to finish, probably still right now.
Yeah, because the cadence, and you're memorizing all that stuff.
Yes, and the music guides you.
Right.
But to just do these monologues.
Yeah, it was a lot of reading it, saying it out loud while looking at it, then trying to say out loud sentence by sentence, or like I grouped it together to nothingness.
Right.
I would go to like Balboa Park. I tried different. I memorized probably 2 or 3 monologues at Mostra, at the Bunker Hill location.
Okay, Bankers Hill. Yeah. Oh, that's right by. That's right by Balboa Park.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So I just remember looking out that window and doing it, hoping people just don't think I'm crazy or that I'm just on the phone or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like I wasn't being loud or anything.
Yeah, you were just running lines.
I was just running lines, had the headphones on, saying it out loud and saying it out loud. And I did that every day for like 2 weeks until I was off book.
Wow.
And I was...
That's incredible though. Honestly, yeah.
It's a lot. But I will say, I think that the human brain, in everybody, in all of us, is capable of doing that. Because if I were to do it, and again, I was scared when I got the script, I was actually in the back of my mind finding ways to pull out. I'm not kidding.
You're like, how can I sabotage the situation?
Yes.
Because I can't do this right now.
Can I maybe book something else? Like those thoughts came to my mind. And like, I hated that they went there because I didn't believe in myself.
But it's a lot of pressure.
It is. It is. Not only all that, but also the added pressure of being an Asian American in this role. It's usually not like that.
Have you gotten any pushback about that?
There was an article after opening night of someone saying that the real Jonathan Larson is yeah, you can't start a sentence like that and not expect it to then be kind of racist after.
Yikes, okay.
And a part of me wishes I didn't read that, but then as soon as I read it, it said the real Jonathan Larson is Jewish. AJ could use a lesson or two about being Jewish, watch a Woody Allen movie or something. Like something so stereotypical and also so inappropriate. Woody Allen. After reading that article, I sent it to my director and I said, hey, look, someone was there opening night who clearly wanted it to be someone else. How do we... I can't accept if people are there in a way where they have this bias against you.
Right.
I will accept fair criticism all day. And if you didn't like my performance, it's fine. But if it starts with, the real Jonathan Larson was Jewish, AJ Rafael is not Jewish, then that invalidated you.
Yeah.
So anyway, the artistic director left a very long comment. Artistic director, so founder, owner of the theater.
Yeah.
This amazing white ally of mine, Sean Murray, he wrote a public comment on that blog post, essentially defending me, and not my performance in it in any way, like not, oh, AJ Rafael is so talented, like, hey, that was inappropriate what you said, and like, we don't welcome that at the theater.
That's amazing.
So that's been the pushback, and of course, just the pushback in my head, because you know what, when I was watching Alyssa in Beauty and the Beast, and she's a Filipino belle, anytime I sat next to a white family, and this is just something natural that comes, if I saw them ever whisper or anything, or leaning over or anything like that, in my mind, I'm feeling like they are not accepting Alyssa as Belle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I have to wait till she does one of her solo numbers, and they're clapping like crazy.
And you're like, yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, and I feel bad like prejudging them like that, but that's just...
Yeah, no, I get it.
You know.
Like, I feel like it's like media is like still in this process of transitioning into multiracial casting and all that, and it's a process.
It's a process, and it, you know, we're all still living with the microaggressions and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, we see that. So I had a little bit of PTSD from watching Alyssa every week multiple times, and maybe getting some whispers and things like that. And again, it could all be in my head, but also that's the pressure that lived here. So I'm just really glad that I have accepted fully, mostly fully, that like I am John in a lot of ways, you know? I am the character of John in this story.
You were representing, actually, I was seeing myself in John. Like, cool. Your performance, I felt represented just artist, period.
Yeah.
You know, just everyone's in their head. Everyone's just trying to hustle. You're on the brink of giving up every day.
Yeah.
Every hour of every day, you're like, you know what? I don't know. And then you have the other people in your other ear, like, here's this other opportunity.
Yeah, here,
and it's so easy to go this way. And the whole time, like, I know how the story ended, because obviously John Larson, you know, became who he is. Yeah. But I was like, even in the moment, like, you just grabbed us all in. Like, I actually watched, like, people were crying, you know? I was crying. Like, everybody was really emotional just watching, because I was like, is he gonna go do that instead of pursue, you know, kind of thing?
Of course.
But it's such a powerful piece. I wanted to ask you, like, what has been the most rewarding part about playing this role and doing this project?
Two things. First thing is that it's a culmination of what I've done my whole life, as in learning how to play the piano, being able to play piano without looking at it, so I'm able to then sing without worrying about the piano.
That's like, honestly, okay, sorry to interrupt. That was the coolest part. Like, not to kill it for all those that are about to watch it, but he opens the show singing, acting, playing. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, you're playing the piano and doing all this right now? So dope. Like, honestly, I was just blown away. Okay, continue. Sorry.
Well, what's funny is that I feel like when I went to Berklee College of Music in Boston, and my audition, I felt like, man, how can I possibly put all of my skills into a 5-minute audition? And I couldn't possibly do that. I didn't get a scholarship or anything going in, and I was disappointed about that. But this play, and again, you've seen it. So opening the play, I come out to the piano, I play a few licks, I say this monologue, and then I sing and play at the same time. That's the first 10 minutes of the play. And I feel like, again, I prepared my whole life to do just that. And everything that I've learned in my life, I was able to take that and put it into the first 10 minutes, and then gradually into the rest of the play, as I learned more about how to, you know, use my emotions and all these things in the scenes. And so I remember our musical director, Dr. Randy, she just said, just remember, to all of us, because we all had challenges learning this play. She said, just remember that you have prepared your whole life to do what you're doing. Just trust that you've already done the work, essentially.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So, yeah.
And your co-stars are fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Because, you know, when I saw there's 3 actors, I was like, how are they going to do a show with 3 actors? And then you guys did a show with 3 actors, but it was not 3 actors. It was a whole
ensemble of people
being pulled off by these 3 actors.
Right.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So
I'm so impressed, you guys. I honestly, and if you ask anyone in my family, like, no one likes watching movies with me because I'm like such a harsh critic. I'm just like, I can find all the holes. I dissect everything. You know, we're performers. You can't help it. But so I'm naturally doing that while I was watching, and I was just the whole time like, girl, did you just do three things?
I know, in one thing.
And she's running around and like changing her voice, changing her costume.
See, that's the cool thing about theater, is that you do have to like suspend your disbelief for a bit and just accept the magic that is about to happen, which I love. But yeah, Tick Tick Boom has 3 actors, but multiple characters. I luckily get to just play John the whole time, as you know.
Which is a heavy load, but yes.
Yes. And then there is my co-star, Emma Nossel, who plays Susan, my girlfriend, who wants to start a family and move to Cape Cod, and John still wants to be in New York and write the best musical. But Emma also gets to play Caressa, who is in the musical that John is writing. Emma also plays my agent, Rosa Stevens. She also
which
plays
is hilarious,
my
by the way.
mom.
Yeah.
And I fall in love with Emma every night. Like, she's so amazing. She's so
pulls
amazing.
it off.
She really does.
And I in the moment, I'm like, she really does change into those people for me.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic.
Yes. So she has an amazing voice as well. And we've been friends for 10 years. So
Oh, you have?
I played piano at her wedding.
Stop.
Yeah. Which is so cool.
So you guys just randomly got booked for this
Yeah.
together, and you were like, "Oh my God, we get to do this together!" Ah, that's
her
so
and
fun.
her boyfriend at the time were in this musical that I first music directed called Young Frankenstein. It was my first job as a musical director. So I'm like
Okay.
teaching parts and all this stuff to all these pros. I was scared.
Dude, you have been preparing for this your whole life. Are you kidding me? You've been a musical director?
Yeah.
Stop
For multiple
it.
musicals, which has been really fun. But again, I always felt the urge that I always also wanted to be on stage.
Yeah, of course.
So being here is great. So, and then Emma lives all the way out here in Vista, so we don't get to hang or anything. But she asked me to play piano at her wedding, so me and my wife went to their wedding, and it was
Wow.
amazing. And then, I got booked in February. I was like, hey, I'm going to be your John. She's like, holy shit, crazy.
Wow.
Yes, so she's amazing. And then there's also Leo
he's
Ebanks,
so amazing
who
too.
is so amazing,
Yeah.
so funny, and has a really powerful voice. He plays my best friend Michael, who, spoiler alert, gets sick. And John has to really battle that and kind of see where his priorities lie and stuff. But Leo doesn't only play Michael. He plays
Your
a
dad.
market research guy. He plays my dad. He plays a temp in wrinkled khakis, as is one of my lines.
Yes.
And he's on the phone, and it's
so great.
It's so great. And Leo works really hard. He's from Atlanta. He's living there right now. He's going to move to New York after this. He's done San Diego theater before. He's sacrificing a lot to even just be here. So it's just, I'm really glad that us three got to do this particular show with this combination of people in this time together.
It's magical. There's
Thank
like
you.
really no other word other than it's magical. Like the chemistry, the show, the musicians, obviously the
Yeah.
director. I mean, everybody, just the
Yeah.
whole thing.
Whole crew.
Even the
Amazing.
theater. Like I'm like obsessed with the theater. I'm
Yeah.
like, have you guys been to? And
Yeah.
everyone's like, no. So I'm gonna go back to the show, obviously,
Yay.
because I can't miss it. But let's jump into your story because I just heard musical director. So like, let's take it back to like young AJ and all of this. Like, is this what you had always dreamed of? Is this what it looked like when you were a kid, or what did you want to be when you grew up, when you were a little boy?
I wanted to be like my dad. And he was a composer, choir conductor. He wrote songs. He's an amazing pianist, way better than I am. And he led this choir that my mom was also in. He also played at multiple churches on Sunday. So we would go from like a Baptist church to a born again to Catholic mostly.
Oh my
and
goodness.
then like a Methodist church in the afternoon. And then we'd be done for the day and go home because he would play at all those
And your
services.
mom, you said your mom was in the.
My mom was in the choir.
So she sings?
She sings.
Okay.
She taught us how to harmonize. She's the choir director now for the church.
Wow.
But my dad passed away when I was 10. And he was my piano teacher for a good amount of years. He moved me to a classical piano teacher because, teaching your own son is, it's probably so hard, I imagine.
Yeah.
So I was taking lessons from a classical teacher. And my dad actually passed away because he wanted to stop sweating because he had all these handkerchiefs. I have this one picture of him where he has like 5 handkerchiefs on 2 keyboards that he's playing because he's always wiping his hands.
Okay.
So it was a minor surgery. They went to cut something. They fucked up. And
You're kidding.
Yeah. And then he ended
Oh my
up
gosh, I'm so sorry.
over 3 weeks in the hospital. He developed hospital pneumonia and then he passed away. So to me, he died a martyr because he died literally doing something that he loved,
Yeah.
which was to just just to be able to play freely without an obstacle of sweat, you know, because pianists need their hands.
Yeah.
Literally. He's always has handkerchief.
So he's just going in between, like any moment that he could take a break.
I just remember he has them on the music stand. He just like do this. He's playing. He's doing this. You know, sweating so much so sweat glands are in here. Anyway, it was a whole thing. My mom still works at the hospital that he passed away at.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
And she recently, in the last couple of years, threw the retirement party for the doctor who actually messed up. Yeah.
Wow.
And it's just like this whole circle of like forgiveness. And my mom has been through a lot. And you know, anyone with immigrant parents, you know what we can't even imagine what they went through to get here.
Yeah.
And the fact that she had to even go through that, and she had 3 kids. My littlest sister was 6 months old when he died.
Oh my gosh.
So it was just like a lot. And that all ties in because I literally played piano at his funeral. Like, that's how fast the transition was. It's like, okay, your dad's gone. AJ, you have to now take over, play piano for all his choirs. When I see a 10-year-old now running around, I'm like, oh my God.
Right.
I sometimes wish I got to live like that. Like, they're just running around and stuff. Every Friday, Saturday, I'm rehearsing with my mom because she ended up taking over the choir conducting part. And then I was the pianist. So we were like a team to take over my dad's job.
Oh my gosh.
While she's a full-time OR nurse, you know, working night shift so she could still take us to school and stuff.
Oh my goodness.
So, I mean, all of this adds up because I had so much, my mom loved music so much, even though she was a nurse, that she encouraged me and my sisters to all do what we loved, which was music. And that came from my dad and my mom. And so, you know, all of these things and these skills I have from a young age were all, you know, honed and crafted in these things, and especially leadership. Like, I learned a lot from my dad and my mom about leading choirs, putting rehearsals together and stuff, and practicing and things like that.
But that's a lot for a 10-year-old to just take on.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that your dad passes away and you instantaneously, like, it just turned over to you? There was no interim, somebody else?
There was no other person.
So you were 10.
It was wild.
11.
Yes, there was my Uncle Joe and my Uncle Danny were playing guitar and bass.
Oh my gosh.
And I remember
the
just
family
sitting there.
band. You're like, okay, I'm the next. Oh my gosh.
Well, you know, it was the Filipino uncles.
Yeah, no.
But they
totally.
are my family. They are my family. They grew up watching out for me.
Yeah.
They give me hints on like what to play and what not to play. And if you've been to a Catholic mass, you know, there's so many parts.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's like the Holy,
oh yeah,
the Peace I Leave, all that stuff. There's like 20 songs in one service. So, you know, learning that way in real time, in real life, and then eventually it turned into like also me singing while playing, and learning that way. Sometimes going to the podium to do the response.
Oh my goodness.
You know, because we had to.
Right. It's like, okay, it's gonna be you today.
Yeah, it's gonna be you today.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'll do it. I'll walk up there and I get nervous and then I just do it, and then I don't have stage fright anymore because I'm so comfortable with the piano.
Right, and you're just like, just throw whatever you need at me and then I can do it.
Yeah. And I love doing stuff like that, like impromptu stuff and putting in a song last minute instead of this other song. So I took that into my later years when I was part of different bands and at school.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I mean, fast forward to me being 14 years old, I pick up my first guitar because my dad's sister bought me a guitar for my birthday, and they all supported me because they all miss my dad and all that stuff. So I got a guitar at 14 years old. I wrote my first song. I put it on MySpace, and this is before MySpace had the upload your music, MySpace Music. You remember that?
Yeah.
I had to put like JavaScript to put like this real player module to hit play. I'm like, hey everyone, press play. Press play. They hear this song that I recorded in my garage because my mom bought me $1,000 recorder in my garage. Like
what
a
year
multi-track.
is this, by the way?
This is 2004.
Okay.
Yeah. So, you know, technology's still kind of booming at that time.
Right. It's like slowly working its way. I released some music. I start playing backyard shows at my high school. I'm selling CDs that I burned at my best friend's house. He's helping me sell them. Every 10 CDs we'd sell, I would literally buy us In-N-Out because that was like our reward. You know what I mean? God.
Like that was me selling CDs in my high school.
Yeah.
2 years later, a year later, MySpace Music comes out. I put music on there that I recorded in my garage. I'm on the MySpace unsigned charts, which is cool. I meet this whole community of other musicians: Jeremy Passion, Gabe Bondoc, Jared
I haven't heard these names in so long. Yeah.
Jesse Barrera, Melissa Polinar, all these amazing DIY musicians, especially specifically Asian American artists who have not had the spotlight and really anything before. The last Asian American music boom was Pinay, Kai, Devotion, the R&B groups of the late 90s.
Yeah.
So we were inspired by them, but we had the internet this time with YouTube videos that came in 2006. So this is 2 years after MySpace. I uploaded my first YouTube video just for the necessity of putting it on my MySpace page. And then my YouTube channel starts blowing up because I'm doing requests and I'm doing songs acoustically in the bathroom with my friends, and I'm jamming with people, and people really wanted to see that. And a lot of the fans were Asian and Filipino because they probably do that in their own living rooms, but have never seen someone
that looks like you
do that, you know, or have the courage. And me and my peers and my friends were all doing that. And it's one thing led to another. I have 1,000 subscribers at one point. I'm like, what are subscribers? I found out they're just free, and like, so I encourage people to subscribe. Next thing you know, I have 100,000, then 250,000. I joined the YouTube Partner Program. They accept me. I'm able to make ad revenue on my YouTube videos.
Yeah.
And I don't have to ask my mom for money anymore. You know what I mean? Like all these things add up. Next thing you know, I'm at like 400, 500,000 subscribers, and I start playing shows in Australia and the Philippines because people are flying me out. I do have to shout out San Diego though, because that's the first show I played when I was in my MySpace days, where they gave me gas money, and it was at Southwestern College.
Oh, I love that.
And actually the first song I wrote was called How's San Diego, Polly, which is about this girl Polly, who I'm still friends with till this day. I met her online.
Oh my
and
gosh.
I just like got a crush on her.
And she's from San Diego.
And she's from San Diego.
Oh my gosh.
So like all these full circle things, San Diego is like, means a lot to me.
So like, what do you think you did differently? Because I mean, there's a lot of people out there that are putting stuff out and they're not going viral and they're not getting, I mean, now you've got like over 1 million subscribers on YouTube, but like, what do you think you did differently?
I think it's a lot to do with luck and timing, because back then, again, it was not as saturated as it is now.
Okay.
Not even, it's like 1%. You know what I mean? Like, it's so different. I think it took the first people to do it, which was, you know, again, Jeremy Passion, one of the first to make a viral video of him playing music. It's like, oh, I can do that. And then a couple of us who really had almost the courage to be ourselves, have a laptop set up and just play in front of it, be real, talk to the camera. Like it used to just be me playing piano, and then I just do a peace sign at the end and then write the subtitles on or whatever. Go to my MySpace.
Yeah.
But it eventually became me talking to the camera, being like, hey everybody, what's up? Hey, I remember you commented on my video, thanks for the love, blah, blah, blah. You start creating community. So I feel like it was first the courage to do something, the courage to create content, which we didn't call back in the day. It wasn't even called social media back then.
Right.
And then the community aspect of it. So we would meet people in real life. Back then, I was 17, 18, getting recognized at like Chino Hills, the shops, you know, and they're like, I watch your videos. I'm like, oh, no way, cool. Hey, you're one of us. He's like, I play ukulele too. Like, you know, we dap it up and we're cool. And I just felt like we were part of the first wave of like approachable celebrities. I hate that word, but like that's what I feel like. Someone you see online, but they actually relate to you, they're approachable, they can actually speak to you in real time if you want.
Yeah.
And I think, so the timing and us being authentic, I think really was something different at the time.
Yeah.
Now you see it in TikTok where someone could just put their phone up, be themselves, and then it goes viral because there's always gonna be someone who relates to you out there. Like no one's really truly alone in what they do. So
do you find that people are still waiting for you to do more of these videos, or are you just like, I've got a lot going on and it's hard for me to sit down and like decide what to do? Like how do you even decide what to put out there? Or do you just throw it on the wall and hope that it sticks, and if it doesn't, you're like, let me try something else?
Well, one thing I teach if I do like my talks about social media, and I've spoken at my college before, my Berkeley College of Music, I I didn't graduate, but they still consider me an alumni. You know? When I'm speaking at these places, I always talk about consistency. As you know as well, like, you, to stay quote unquote relevant, you just got to keep putting stuff out there.
Yeah.
As musicians and as people with like standards for our art and for our products and stuff, it's hard to find that balance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I really think that even if you have bad content, but you're putting something out every day, that one day you're actually gonna start being able to have, you know, a certain amount of data to see what's working, and then you keep doing that, and then you get viral more often than not, just because you're consistent.
You know what? That's how I feel about like Bretman Rock. Like, I remember when he first came out, I was like, who's this guy?
Yeah.
Now I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, he just kept putting stuff out.
He just kept putting stuff out.
And he got better and better and better.
He was like evolving with it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I forgot who said this, but it's like, don't be afraid to be like cringy or whatever, especially in the beginning of your journey. Because I look back at a lot of my stuff, I'm like, ooh, why'd I do that? Why'd I dress like that? You know what I mean? But like, that was all part of the journey, and somebody loved those videos.
Yeah.
Somebody wanted to stick around.
Yeah.
So again, I teach that mantra of community, collaboration, and consistency, but I don't get to practice a lot because I wear so many freaking hats.
Yeah.
And like, as you brought up music directing, you know, me being in this musical, me going on tour, me being a husband, you know what I mean? Like, all of this stuff, I still have to juggle. I have not found the perfect balance of it. Like, I don't really have a calendar or anything like, hey, every Monday I'm gonna do this, which I wish I could. But there's so many things that can randomly happen in my life, and sometimes I feel like I'm scrambling for stuff, and it's a never-ending hustle.
I don't think it stops. I think people like us who just love doing a lot of different things, and we are overachievers, and, you know, we just like strive for excellence.
Yeah.
I just think we keep adding stuff, and
like,
what's balance? There's no such thing as balance. You know, someone told me once, like, oh, how do you balance like your family life and I said, there's no balance. I just integrate it all into one life, and it's all just one life. Like,
oh, absolutely.
My kids are here, my business is there. You know what I mean? It's all just one.
Yeah, I don't know that work-life balance in this time and in the way like capitalism is like, you know, structured, that it even exists.
I agree.
You know, and there just has to be a level of like acceptance.
Yeah.
You know, when I'm in this musical, at least when I was rehearsing in the first couple of weeks, I was like, I'm in this. Like, I don't need to see friends right now, and like, I need to be in this and work. And I just accepted that, you know?
Which is hard.
It's hard. And it does take a certain amount of privilege, of course. Like, I'm so glad that I make royalties off my music, and I make money doing influencer content creation, brand deals and stuff, that I'm able to sustain, so I can fully focus on theater. Because a lot of my theater friends also have jobs that they're going to during the day, and then they go to rehearsals at night. So I totally, completely acknowledge that. But I am really grateful that my music, my first love, and the thing that I've been working on for the last 25 years has sustained me to be able to do what I love, which is acting as well and being in musicals and stuff.
Well, and then so you're doing this tour. Like, you brought it up earlier, and I kind of just want to talk about that really quick. So tell me about it. Where are you going? Like, what's the duration?
Yeah.
I want everyone to go, you know.
Yeah, I mean, wherever you're watching, we may not be in your city, but I had the opportunity to come up with a touring show. And I called it the Take Me Back Tour, because I didn't have a lot of new music at the time. I wanted to take people back to the days of like me and my YouTube videos.
Oh,
and,
that's so fun.
Yeah, so that's the genesis of what the Take Me Back Tour is. I'm playing a lot of my old stuff, which people still really love. So we already did the West Coast leg last year. And 2 of those nights we sold out House of Blues here in San Diego, which was amazing.
Love it.
Oh, just like imagine a room full of mostly Asian Americans too, who like, you know, they're feeling really empowered seeing me on stage.
Absolutely.
And it just felt really great to play in San Diego. So we had a whole sold out run of the West Coast because it was my first real tour in 10 years. And then we announced an East Coast tour, which we're starting August 21st, and we're doing Chicago, Toronto, New York, Boston, Virginia Beach, DC.
Cool.
Yeah, and then we're doing the Bay Area, and we're doing Seattle and Vancouver, and then we're gonna close the tour Texas. So Houston, Dallas, Phoenix, and our last show will be in Las Vegas.
Wow.
So unfortunately, we're not coming back to San Diego or Southern California.
Right.
But I'm trying to get all my friends to come to Vegas. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you know at the top of your head what day Vegas is?
Yeah, 10/14, and
Okay.
Unfortunately, it's a Monday.
Oh, that's
So.
not. Well, if you can't go out to, Vegas.
Yeah, no, that's a week.
It's actually a cheaper flight that day.
It is, and cheaper stay at the hotels.
Cheaper stay. I'm going. I will be there.
Yeah, please
for sure.
come through.
That sounds so fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I get no breaks.
No.
A week
but
after.
you've given yourself no breaks
Oh, yeah.
because you've just
Well,
added all the things.
I mean, you know this, I'm sure. It's like when you see a break in your calendar, it feels strange. So like, you're like, okay, I'll say yes here to this thing. Even if it's 6-7 months in advance, you're like, yeah, I'm free that week.
Yeah.
You don't foresee yourself
Having a musical.
yeah, and having to be mentally sound
Yeah.
for your next thing.
Yeah.
So as heartbreaking as it will be to close Tick Tick Boom at Signet Theater, I will be excited to take a week break to then go on tour.
Yes, I feel you. All right, here we have the Let's Get Closer table talk cards. If you've been watching our podcast, you know I like to take these cards out and just ask our guests some questions that are unrelated just to get to know them better. So,
Oh my gosh.
Pick any cards.
I'm scared.
I know. No, you don't have to be
Should I
scared.
read it?
Yeah.
What is your favorite simple pleasure?
What's your favorite simple pleasure?
I'm a homebody most of the time. I like just being on our couch and watching Disney Plus or something with our dogs next to when they're lazy. When
they're not
lazy.
hyper.
Yes. We have 2 Frenchies. They're insane.
Okay, so sitting on your couch.
Sitting on your couch with the dogs.
Watching some
Melissa.
Disney Plus with some
absolutely.
chill dog energy.
Chill dog energy. Okay. Oh, what is your favorite part of the day and why? Lately, it has been the 30 minutes before the show.
Favorite part of your day is the 30 minutes before the show?
Yes, because it gives me a rush a little bit. I'm like, okay, we're about to go on. Is there anything I need to review? No, okay, I'm just gonna walk around in my costume. I have my mic already ready. I'm the first one ready out of my castmates. I don't know, I'm just like, I get anxious like that a little bit. And then I get to take in the energy before the show, because once the show starts, it doesn't stop.
I cannot believe you like that. That is my least favorite part of a day. If I have like the right before the show chaos.
Yeah.
No, thank you. Okay, one more.
Okay, let's choose.
That's
carefully.
pretty impressive that you're like, I like the rush.
I think just nowadays,
I feel like I need to like
at my
learn
age.
to embrace the rush.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, you know.
It allows you to be present more in it.
It is the most present.
And then
True.
it doesn't go by as fast.
Yeah. True.
Anyway.
Ooh.
In what ways are you still the same person as you were as a child?
I love these cards, man. Okay.
Sometimes I want to get back to like loving music just as much. Like I remember not knowing as much about music back in the day, but still just playing whatever I want. And now I'm like, oh, that doesn't fit right. The rules and stuff. That's something I wish.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Knowing too much almost. But I would say the same is that I always am thinking about my family. Like I was always ingrained to, you know, when my dad passed away, I'm like, now I'm automatically like the man of the house.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
Gotta take care of both of my sisters, especially my littlest sister, because she was 6 months old. So I almost in a lot of ways feel like I'm her dad in some weird ways. You know, like I was driving her to middle school every day. High school, I went to every single one of her plays, and she's like,
That's awesome.
yeah, I still watch out for her the same way. She's living at our house right now, helping us take care of the dogs and stuff. But I have so much love for her in a different way, like, because I help take care of her, so a part of me feels like responsible for her. But that same love that I have from both of my sisters and for my mom, and now all that love kind of turned into this bigger piece of love that I get to give to my wife, you know? So I'm just glad I got to take all that from my childhood and take it into now, because that's what really fuels me every day.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm the eldest of 5 girls.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you know the energy.
I feel like I'm their mom too.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
I know that, you know,
Yeah.
and like they work for me, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because I'm like,
you wanna take care
let
of
me
them.
help, you know what I mean? Let me take care of you. That's beautiful though. So you're a musician, you're doing
Yeah.
Tick Tick Boom. We were thinking it would be fun to do this little test. We're gonna play 1 second of the song, the
Oh.
beginning of the song, and we're gonna see if you can guess
Oh God.
the song. And I thought, okay, you know, he plays these songs, so I don't know. Let's just
Yeah,
see.
maybe I'll get it.
Let's wing it. Let's wing it. So it's not in any particular order.
Okay.
I don't even know the answer myself. Cam's in control.
Thanks, Cam. We got it.
Okay. She was gonna do Disney songs,
Oh, I'm pretty good at those.
but I was like, why not Tick Tick Boom songs? It's relevant.
Okay, maybe 1 second, maybe 2.
Yeah. Why? That's a song that.
Is that right?
Yeah. That's my solo song where I'm playing piano and singing
Wow.
the second to the last song.
Yeah.
After this big monologue. So I've spent a lot of time listening to that song.
Woohoo! 1. Okay. Okay. Let's do another one.
I barely even heard that.
Look at her. She's so impressed. I mean, I'm so impressed.
Okay, here we go.
Sunday.
You should see this girl freaking out behind the camera.
That is a song that is in the show that is a parody of the song Sunday from a musical called Sunday in the Park with George. It's a Sondheim show, and it's a direct parody of that whole musical, so I love that song.
Nailed it. 2. Okay.
That one is called Johnny Can't Decide.
For real?
Yes.
Wow.
And again, it's because I'm playing these intros.
He's the one
you know?
playing
I'm
the song.
the
See?
song.
I was like, he plays it, so he's like, he knows the key.
Did you get to watch the movie yet?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna wait. Like I'm actually so glad I didn't see the movie
Yeah.
first.
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
tell people
watch
that.
your show one more time.
Yeah.
on
And
the
then
25th.
watch it.
And then I'm gonna watch the movie.
Yeah.
Literally been holding.
They
off
had
on it.
millions more dollars to tell that story, so.
Yeah. Okay, let's do one more.
Oh, that is 3090, which is the opening song of Tick Tick Boom. And the tick tick that you hear is in my head the whole freaking musical, so
I didn't even
clearly
hear
know
the
that
song.
song.
I didn't even hear it.
That one actually was not it, but I don't know if the other one also has ticks.
Oh no.
So
Wait,
this is
do it
it.
again.
Oh, it's not right?
I was
No.
wrong. I was so confident.
It
Okay.
was so quick though, but in
Let's play it again.
Okay, ready?
Oh, okay. To be fair, that song is not in the musical.
Oh!
That's what I said. Just play with it.
I love it. I love it. That's a deep cut. You got me, Cam. You got me, Cam. I'm embarrassed because I was so confident. But that and 3090 both start the same way. Tick, tick, tick. This song is called Boho Days, which is a recording from Jonathan Larson himself.
Yes,
That
okay.
they put in the soundtrack.
Ah,
The Boho Days one claim to fame. I said that was a trending audio.
Nice. It
I
was.
know it was. I
It
heard that.
was.
That's- she knew that
this
one.
is the life. Bo, 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 bo. Yes.
so before we go, if you can just share anything else you'd like to promote, Instagram, website, anything.
Yeah, well, you can see Tick Tick Boom here in Old Town San Diego until August 4th. We are for sure closing on August 4th. A couple weeks later, August 17th, I have a show called Crazy Talented Asians that I am producing and music directing up at East West Players, featuring Kamiko Glenn from Waitress and Orange is the New Black, Julia Harriman, and some of my other friends. And then shortly after that, I will go on tour on the Take Me Back tour with my wife. She's going on tour with us.
Oh, fun.
And,
Oh my gosh.
my opening act, Neiman. So yeah, that's what's going on with me, and you can check me out at AJ Rafael on pretty much all the platforms. TikTok, I'm uploading on there, and yeah, listen to my music on Spotify.
Well, thank you so much for sharing all of this. I mean, I feel like everybody at home listening to this is not only going to be inspired, but excited and just, motivated to just go for it and just to make meaning of like their entire journey.
Yeah.
Because like
Yeah.
you said, like it's a culmination of everything you've learned, and that could not be, closer to the truth. So thank you.
Thank you
I'm
so much.
so
Yeah.
excited to see what else you do. Thank you for supporting Mostra
Oh my
like
God,
you
of
have.
course, of course.
This is like a lifelong friendship
Yes.
now, and you have our support from here on out. So cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you for joining us
Thanks
for
to Mostra.
Mostra Monday.
Mostra Monday.
I'm Jillian Malone, and we'll see you all next time. Bye.